G-Man, how the devil are you, my man? You well?
I'm very, very good, and things have moved forward this week in a big way. We could be very busy this winter, especially December the 3rd, if the greatest bluff in one of the greatest bluffs in boxing history turns out to be one of the greatest fights and biggest fights in British boxing history, which is really what I think's happened. I've spoken to. I'm going to share it with you later with Chris Eubank Jr. this week about his weight cut. It's being monitored by the Boxing Board of Control, and I've had a long chat with him. It's fascinating. Not even using a nutritionist, by the way, doing it himself on notes he's kept for the last 10 years. Spoke to Eddie Hearn late on Thursday night, and I've got lots of updates now on where they are with that contract, which obviously went over Friday for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to meet in Cardiff on December the 3rd. Let's keep saying it. Let's say it into believe it into reality. That's what I say. And I think that's what's happened here. I can't help my excitement at it. If it really is going to happen, Adam.
For those that maybe aren't too into the conversations that have been happening over the last couple of weeks, let's give you a little bit of an update, because we saw Tyson Fury take to social media and offer Anthony Joshua a fight in the aftermath of Alexander Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion, saying that he isn't fighting until 2023. Let's be straight, that's the fight we want. Usyk Fury, undisputed heavyweight championship. But if we can't get that this year and Tyson Fury wants to have a fight, then he should be fighting the next best available. No disrespect to the next best available, but he's already beaten him in Deontay Wilder. And of course, as I've said, next weekend we've got Joe Joyce versus Joe Parker. So you look around the rest of the heavyweights, who else is there that Tyson Fury hasn't fought? Well, it's there, shining bright for you, Anthony Joshua. Yes, he's lost 3 of his last 5, but that doesn't matter. He's still a commercial colossus in this heavyweight division. And if we are going to make a fight for Tyson Fury, then that is probably the direction that the majority of us would have looked at. So Tyson Fury took to social media offering that fight to Anthony Joshua. And at the time, the majority of fans who responded to that video said, here he is again. Tyson Fury being Tyson Fury. He's just blowing a bit of smoke before he announces a fight against someone that we've never even heard of. And kind of the majority of us thought that that's the direction that we were going. And the most important thing that was needed to happen to that video being posted was the reaction of Anthony Joshua, a man that normally stays away from tittle-tattle on social media. He likes to do his business dealings behind closed doors, but he brought it out into public. He said there and then that night that if you're serious about this and you really want to do this, then we want to do it. Get in contact with us and we'll go from there. And that obviously then starts the old tongues wagging in the world of boxing. And I said at that time, if you are Tyson Fury and you are offering somebody out from a place of power, it is on you to make that fight happen. Normally you get challengers shooting up towards the champion, but in this case it is the champion shooting down towards a challenger. Fair enough, that challenger is a former unified 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, but he's still a challenger. He has no real estate to bring to the table other than eyeballs and an awful lot of money. So from Tyson Fury's point of view, it was on him to make this fight. And the offer, when it comes to revenue splits and various other things, was on him to be fair and to try and make an offer that Anthony Joshua couldn't refuse. And that's exactly what he did. He offered him a 60-40 split, which I thought was incredibly fair. Champion to challenger privileges, as the majority of people that I've spoken to think that it is an incredibly fair deal. The only discrepancy that we had was the chat over as to when this fight would take place. Originally, Tyson Fury wanted to fight in the second week of November. We then heard from Anthony Joshua's camp saying that they wanted to do the last week of December the 17th, week before Christmas. Obviously, there's a 4, 5, 6 week period there, discrepancy between them, between both camps. We then seem to have settled on this date somewhere in the middle, first weekend of December, December the 3rd. And of course, with it being that time of year, you need somewhere big enough that can hold a fight of that magnitude with a roof on. So we are pointing towards Cardiff and the Principality, December the 3rd. And that seems to be where we're at right now. We are told that this time last week, both camps met, as in the people that dot the I's and cross the T's. And they thrashed out a deal of which was agreed. No contract is signed as of yet. Agreement in principle. We've been here on many occasions before we fight. It's been agreed in principle, but until we get it absolutely signed, sealed and delivered, there isn't a fight. But I'm confident in saying, from knowing what we know, that this is the closest that we have been to having this particular fight materialise. There's nothing really standing in its way.
Well, look at the nuance there and read between the lines of the things that you've just been saying. We are on the cusp of the biggest fight in British boxing history between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. It's reduced in value. A year and a half ago, it was worth 200 million. I think this fight's worth about 80 million, okay? They're going to earn, I reckon, minimum, say 45 and 25 million each, something like that. 35, I can't do the sums 60-40 right now, but they will have big paydays, both of them. I spoke about the traditional way of what would happen in boxing in the old school way, which is that Anthony Joshua knocks out a couple of, in inverted commas, bums, comes back, and he has his confidence relayed by his new team under Robert Garcia, his trainer, and Tyson Fury fights Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk, as you say, wasn't available. So Tyson Fury is kicking about thinking, I don't want to fight Manuel Chiar. I don't want to fight Derek Chisora. I don't want to fight the world's strongest man, the mountain. I don't want to do any of those fights. Do you know what? I'm going to offer up Anthony Joshua. And the more Joshua thinks about it, and Eddie Hearn told me this last week, okay, when I spoke to him, that they weren't sure about it. They were sceptical. But they thought, do you know what? There's no offer on the table. Take it or leave it. They wanted December the 17th, but that was reserved for Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk, by the way, which he didn't want to take. Usyk didn't want to take. Now he wants to fight Deontay Wilder because he knows that Tyson Fury isn't going to have a warm-up fight on December the 17th, and they're going to meet in February, which was the plan. Yeah. So now he's looking at Deontay Wilder. It's that chess game going on again. And it's weird. You throw the cat up in the air and the four legs land. And in this case, the four legs have landed. They've landed in Cardiff. December the 3rd works for Anthony Joshua. He specifically told, you were there, he specifically told Eddie Hearn at the post-fight press conference in Saudi Arabia, I want to be out in November or December. And he's got his December fight. Look, they didn't want him to fight Tyson Fury. It's a dangerous fight right now for Anthony Joshua. But you know what?
It's the right fight.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Earn 30 million. Win the fight, you're God. That's what Eddie Hearn told me the other day. If he wins the fight, he's God.
This is
heavyweight boxing. Listen, I think he gets schooled by Fury's jab. I'm just being honest here. I'm not writing Anthony off.
But that's irrelevant.
But he gets schooled by the jab and he gets knocked out late in the fight.
But that's irrelevant.
That's what I think will happen.
Yeah, listen, the majority of people would agree with you on that. But my point is, I think fan attitude and boxing attitude in general just has to change.
No, I agree. And that's what's good about this.
Absolutely.
That's what's really good
All
about
these
this.
people that keep coming at me saying, oh, it's a bad business. I'm not interested in the bad business deal. It's a great business deal. Think about it. This is a guy that has lost 3 of his last 5. He's been offered an opportunity for a heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
That's what he's been offered.
Carpe diem, Adam. Carpe
Seize
diem.
the day. There's a few quid in it, sound. But this is where you find out what you're all about.
And also, Adam, I know we're both pontificating here because we truly believe in these things, okay? And you know, if Anthony Joshua performs even well against Tyson Fury, there's a massive fight with Deontay Wilder still. There's a massive fight with Dillian Whyte still for him. Why risk? Because if he also knows, and this is what Eddie said, he's always wanted to fight Tyson Fury. This was a conversation 2 nights ago with Eddie Hearn when he was in Vegas. Obviously, he's promoting the Canelo-Golovkin fight. It was 10:30 at night. Eddie was on. He was very explicit about it. He said, look, Anthony said 2 things to him. Please make the fight because I've always wanted to fight this guy and I don't want to lose the opportunity because he could easily be knocked out by someone else and that opportunity slips away. And they also feel with Tyson Fury, if he fought Usyk and he beats Usyk,
he's off.
No one's going to complain that he never fought Anthony Joshua apart from us. You know?
Well, no, we won't even do that because we have conceded that number 1 and number 2 in this division are Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. You have that fight, you win that fight. You can then dance off into the sunset saying, I'm the best of the era. That's what you can legitimately do and nobody argues with it. You have Anthony Joshua's 100% right. You take this fight now, and boxing fans and attitudes in boxing have to change about all these business deals and we do this at the right time and we build this and we do this and we go away and we take a tune-up fight. Nonsense. You fight the best guys. Anthony Joshua wants to fight the best guys. The best guy's Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury wants to fight the best guy. You fight Anthony Joshua. Go and make the fight.
Exactly. And on this occasion, emoji applause for Anthony Joshua because he steps up to the plate. And if I think he is serious about fighting Fury, and I think Fury's serious about fighting him. Let's hope. The contracts went over yesterday. Okay, the initial fight agreements were made last week. 60-40, Cardiff, December the 3rd. Hearn, 258 management, Anthony Joshua's company, and Joshua, his management company, and Joshua all agreed to the fight. It's all gone back to Frank Warren and George Warren, who are dealing with it. George Warren more so. I think he needs great credit here as well, because he and Eddie have had dinner last Friday night together and thrashed over it before Eddie left for Vegas. The contracts went over yesterday. There will be a little bit of detail. I'm told that BT Sport and DAZN are in, and they're gonna make the way They're not going to make waves about it. They're not going to go against it at all. Hopefully, after Monday, after we've all sat back and watched the Queen's funeral service and the memorial service, I expect later next week for the details to come out and them to thrash it out, and hopefully we've got a fight by the end of next weekend.